question myself, am I going to make my video before I make my bed? Come on now. But the royal call, made my bed, did a little bit of mountain pose, just stood still. I felt the floor beneath me. Shout out to yoga with Adrian, because that's where I learned it from. Okay. My level of productivity has been below my standards, below wanted standards, for as long as I can remember. But I think I've found something that's going to help me actually do what I need to do. No. That's going to help me actually do what I set myself every day. And as I was going to say, do what I need to do. Where could this below standards productivity have come from? Well, what were my standards? During GCSE time, it was top of the top. A level star, grade 9 in everything. Those were the standards. A fantasy. Compared to the C's, B's and A's and the odd D I was getting. It was unrealistic to expect, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a star in everything. Those are the standards. Those were the standards that I made for myself back then, even though I was getting those grades. Why did I do that to myself? I think I remember my dad telling me something along the lines of, at such a young age you can't procrastinate. The memory's blurry, so that might not be completely true. But if it is, that's just not right. It's chatting shit. Was chatting shit. In my head I was thinking, and he still sometimes chat shit. With saying, oh, this food's healthy, that food's healthy. There's no fat in this food. There's no fat in, what was it, a doner kebab? No. Yeah, I think it genuinely was that. Tried giving me some, no, I think it's chicken kebab. He bought chicken kebab for sure. It's a few days ago. The other day. Not exactly 3 days ago from my memory, but it genuinely could have been. Anyway, yeah. it doesn't matter what age you are, you can put off something. You can put off doing something. I don't care what age you are. You could attempt to postpone it. The only thing that's playing in my head right now and I'm thinking of is saying my standards were unrealistic. Just then, as I was pausing, I said I wasn't saying anything. That thought just kept on playing in my mind over and over and over again. My standards were unrealistic. And honestly, I think those same unrealistic standards I carried from all the way back to GCSE time. I still have them, or at least had them all the way up until yesterday when I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to set 3 things to do on the whiteboard today, which I have done. These are the things I set to do today, but I still kept the routine here. Okay, so I believe that these standards were unrealistic compared to the 4s to 7s I was getting, the C's to A equivalents that I was getting. So why was it that I was expecting myself to get straight 9s in my GCSEs? I knew I had it in me too. With the sort of grades that I was seeing my friends get at the time, I knew I was hanging around people that were doing the same. I was seeing people that were actually getting those grades, or at least grades similar to them. So in my mind, I think from there, without consciously telling myself, I think from there I understood, okay, yeah, it's possible. In my head, I'm thinking of saying I don't remember there being anyone to tell me. Not only that I actually could get straight 9s, A star equivalent, but how to do it as well. I'm talking about in my personal life, not on YouTube, because there are too many tutorials out there. I think I watched Nathaniel Messiah once, and another person, but by that time it was too late for my memory because I was at A level during that time. So again, why did I have unrealistic standards for myself? That time when I paused, nothing was going on in my head consciously, or from my memory anyway. It just happened a few seconds ago. Your mum. So I knew it was possible by seeing my friends get these grades. I knew it was possible. Even though I wouldn't tell myself this consciously, I wasn't aware of this consciously. I think subconsciously I knew. Because I remember even seeing in the astronomy class, one of the friends that I really liked, he got 46 out of 50 in one of his astronomy tests. Not like GCSE exams, but like maybe like a year or so before that. Oh, I think from my memory, the astronomy course was like, it was only 1 year long, but I stayed in for 2 years because there was some fuck ups with the coursework. The teacher was trying to tell me, oh, you didn't hand in your coursework on time, when I thought the coursework was handed in on a different date or something. And somehow I believed I wasn't made aware of when it was actually due in. There were a whole load of fuck ups, but without them I wouldn't be here right now. I remember having to start all over again. Or no, not all over again completely, but over again. I had to start over again because of that fuck up in them. Just a whole lot of excuses. In my head I was telling myself, do I even want to talk about this? But maybe it's a part of it, seeing this as a part of school. And in school I created unrealistic standards, so maybe it is relevant. What was it that was exactly said from my memory? What do I remember being told as to why I couldn't take my exams during the first year when everyone else was doing so? You didn't hand your coursework in on time. For some reason I thought the coursework was due 1 month later than it actually was. From my memory, I think it was due on the 28th of February, when I thought it was due on the 28th of March maybe. So this was when I was 15, 5 years ago. So what year would this have been in? Early 2017. Around maybe February to March 2017. If my information is correct, but it's all from my memory now and it's a blurry past. I have a serious video that I want to make about astronomy class, which is based on why is it that I wanted to impress people by what I was wearing every time I go to astronomy class. I was going to GCSE astronomy from 14 to 16. I failed the class. I got an E. But even though I did that, you know what? Without it, one, I wouldn't be here too. I at least didn't bunk the exams. I didn't bunk any of the exams. I didn't bunk school. There were some days that, you know, I didn't want to go to school, so I'd act sick. I have done that in the past. And my parents let me stay at home at least once when I did that. I think why they did was because they could actually see I actually was ill, but not as much as I was making it seem. Did I ever truthfully want to go to school? Ever? Did I ever truthfully want to go to school because I saw a long-term benefit in it? No. No. I was just doing it out of habit. It was no more than just habit, and there were those underlying rules that you just go to school. No, not even a why. There's no why there. It's just you go to school. My parents didn't speak to me like this about it, and I'm not saying they did, and I'm not trying to imply they did by what I'm saying now. But it's just you go to school with no long-term aims. They just teach you a set of curriculum without actually teaching you about the real world and setting you up to be able to do whatever you want long-term. At least most schools don't do that, I don't think. They fail the students in that way. Students imply you're studying. Studying what? Studying implies that you're learning. Learning what? Learning for what? Those are the questions that should be asked here. Learning what? Learning for what? How is all that fucking shit gonna help you long term in life? I haven't had to use a damn thing that I learned in school. Really. The basics, yeah. How to speak, listen, read, write English. How to do basic maths calculations. Add, subtract, multiply and divide. Other than that, when it comes to the curriculum itself, school was a complete waste of time. Fuck that. If I had to believe that that's the case now, why is it that I wanted to go? No, why is it that I wanted stellar grades back then? I've just answered my question. I've answered my own question within the question, because this is how I'm starting to think of it now. But back then, it was just, I'd go out of habit. Don't need a reason, you just go to school. That's all it took. It was just, I was just going to school because I'd been going to school many years before that. That's during GCSE times and A-level times. And I think that sort of mindset, I made that mindset strong. So by the time it came to uni, I had a similar mindset. I was starting to think, do I want to go to uni? I want to have a year off and just see, do I actually still want this? Even though from a financial perspective, having that year off would have been extremely sensible for me to actually recalculate and think, you know what, during the time where there's a pandemic going on, I don't think it's actually worth going to uni. But if I were to tell my parents something like this now, they'd just tell me something along the lines, well, it's your responsibility. We didn't force you to go. Even though when I did ask, would I be able to take a gap year, they laughed at me and said, no, you can't. When in reality, I didn't understand that they didn't have the power to choose that. It's me that has the power, seeing it's my life. But I don't think I knew that at the time. Oh shit, starting to feel a bit tighter now. Oh, they really are. Oh, it's probably because it may just be because I'm on the floor, and I very slowly but surely my size is increasing, whilst my belly's getting more slim, if that's even possible. But let's go back to the main topic. So I was seeing my friends get these grades, these high grades, top of the top. Maybe not straight nines, but they were high. And I wasn't doing the same. Not to the standard where it's like straight A's. These people I was hanging with, they were straight A students. But when I wasn't getting these grades, maybe I felt a loss of self-worth as I put that worth, my self-worth, into the grades I got without even understanding that. I wasn't a good student if I didn't get 8 straight A's. This is one thing I remember that was fucking stupid. That I believe must be addressed. Delusion. Fucking delusion. It was manifestation, but delusional manifestation. For example, listen to this is the sort of shit I'd say. If I threw this rubbish in the bin, I'll get an A on this test. No, not necessarily. Back when I believed I had Muslim beliefs, I prayed thinking that praying would mean I'd be able to get those grades, high, straight A's. I thought praying would do it. It obviously fucking didn't. Religion's not gonna help you. Not on this one. Religion can't help you. Delusion won't either. I think that's what it was. Delusion. If I get this kill in a Call of Duty game, I'll get straight A's. This was the sort, maybe not word for word, the sort of things I was saying, but I genuinely do remember praying for high grades at least one time in the old house. And I remember saying that sort of shit. Delusional manifestation. I was onto something through manifestation, but it was delusion. Fucking delusional. I now feel inclined to say that I was a delusional kid, but how I'd like to say that is, I was a kid that filled himself with delusion. I wasn't the delusion itself. You aren't a mind state. You may have a mind state, but you are not the mind state itself, or the adjective itself. You're just a human being. That's what you are. That's what I was, and that's what I still am. And always will be until the day of death. That's a deeper topic for another day. Yeah. I was thinking, oh yeah, the unrealistic standards, but it goes deeper than that. Straight up delusion. If you can see the early productivity checks, where there's a whole load of shit on the wall, on the whiteboard, and even though I wasn't doing them from day one, I was still expecting myself to get everything done the next day. But day after day after day, it still was there because I didn't finish everything because I set myself too much to do. But even still, even though they'd stay there for days on end, what was on the board until yesterday was there for 3 days, including yesterday. But even still, I didn't take the hint. Yo, this is too fucking much. The whiteboard's completely filled, for fuck's sake. You've done this in the past, and it hasn't worked. So why the fuck are you still doing it? It's not that it can't work, but it's just that right now I have to build up to that level. And I don't have to show everything I don't have to show every single fucking thing that's there on the whiteboard. I can plan it on the laptop and then put 3 things down and then refer back to the laptop to get the rest of what I want to do on the day. It was just too fucking much. Like doing all of those things that I set myself to do for the past few days, it's probably been like the equivalent of me wanting to get straight 9s. So I'd hold some value, doing what I set myself to do, and thinking about long-term aims. Hold some value, just like how getting straight 9s would have held some value back then. They wouldn't now, but back then it would have. Because that's where I put my worth, at least some of my self-worth, in school, in grades, as that was one of the main things I was doing in my life at the time. School. I could actually make a serious video about what I would have liked school to teach. What I would have liked school to teach us. From a personal standpoint. I might just, I made a note of it. I got to also remember. I've got an extra 2 serious videos in the description, from which I show this card for a minute. I've got extra 2 serious videos on top of that, and the one I just wrote down. There's a lot that needs to be said. These videos aren't the videos you usually see. Certainly not in the self-improvement community, I don't think. I don't think anyone's made videos like me before. But I don't mind. I certainly don't mind. I don't want to make self-improvement videos. I'm on my own thing. self-improvement. The idea had actually been thought of before. Jesus, look at my face. Why is it that my face is looking so round from this angle? My calories have been in a calorie deficit, so what is this? Maybe it's just angles. But yeah, I didn't know that the idea had been thought of before, so I was just thinking, yeah, it's my idea, it's my idea. No, it already had been thought of before. There's a YouTube title called something related to self-improvement that I talk about as well, but I think, even though I now understand that it's not something that I am the originator of, even though it did come from within, and I thought of it by myself without seeing that on YouTube, as far as I'm aware anyway, it did come from within. Let's just say that this is more of a channel that's just making that movement come more to light. Cool. You can tell that these videos are starting to end when I've stopped using the chairs as set up, and when I'm starting to hold the camera, because I'm basically done. So if there are any takeaways I get from this, it'd be during GCSE times all the way up to yesterday, the standards were delusional as hell. Trying to get straight 9s or straight A stars, when in reality I was getting C's, B's, and the odd A. More C's, and more B's during GCSE times before the exams. But I was expecting myself to get A level stars immediately, because those were the standards that I put on myself, and those were what I saw my friends get, friends that I really liked, and I think I was just trying to keep up with them. So first of all, that's what I'd say. Standards were delusional as fuck. My standards that I set on myself were so delusional. Even though I could have got those grades, I went about it in a delusional way, because I was doing some bullshit like, oh, if I threw this paper, I was saying some bullshit like, oh, if I threw this paper in the bin, oh, I'll get an A on this test. Are you fucking kidding me? No, that's not how it works. You have to put in action. You have to put in action to make that happen. Instead of saying, oh, if I get this kill on a Call of Duty Warzone, then I'm gonna get straight A's on the test. No, because you're not actually revising. I don't even want to call it studying. It's just going through the school system as far as I'm fucking concerned. Because studying what and for what? What are you actually learning? Study implies that you're learning, especially learning for a long-term result. Something that you want to do instead of what your parents want you to do. One of the people that I knew from middle school, who I didn't go to high school with, but I saw outside my high school, he was asking me, it's not to do with school, it's to do with religion actually. Are you believing because you want to believe, or because your parents have told you to believe? I don't know how at such a young age he fucking knew, but I thought, it is me that actually wants to believe that I have Muslim beliefs. I have no idea how this guy knew at that age that he knew that that's what was going on. How the fuck did he know that before me? I think I have an answer immediately, because he had an outside perspective on the matter. I didn't. But yeah, standards were delusional. Just start off with setting 3 things on the whiteboard a day, and then once I've done those 3 things, I then can move on. I've got the productivity checks. I could do those as well. But man. Oh, there's another thing that I want to say, unrelated to the video, but related to yesterday's serious video. There was one time that I was actually thinking of going on the YouTube channel impulsively, but I didn't. I mean, there were so many times yesterday during that serious video when I had impulsive thoughts to want to go on it, but I think even after less than 2 days, or no, after less than 24 hours, that impulse, those impulsive thoughts for me to want to go onto YouTube, they're declining significantly at a quick rate. I don't know how come it's this quick, but I think it could be because I understand, my mind understands, or however you want to say it, that now that I've set myself on this for good, that's what I said in the title, for good. Now that I'm doing this for good, there's no point even trying to think about it. It's just automatic. Nope, we're not doing that anymore. We're not mindlessly consuming anything anymore. But the standards were delusional. I mean, I think it's to do with like fantasy sort of procrastination, like that healthy gamer GG talks about, setting such high standards instead of just completely getting rid of them and saying, you know what? For example, okay, so in my test, let's just go for a subject that I was doing. Let's go for A-level biology. Okay, so in this test, I got, let's say, a topic that I actually did study in biology, natural selection. Let's say, okay, I got a C in this test. You know what? In the next test, how about we get an increase of 5% worth of marks on this test. Oh. Instead of getting a C, why not get 5% more marks on the next test than I did this test? We can't really, we don't have GPA, so we can't do, oh, well, let's increase our GPA by 0.1. We can't do that, because it's A's, B's, C's, D's, E's, and F's. I think someone in an astronomy class genuinely got a G, if that's even possible. And then there's you. I said it like that, there's you. The basically did not turn up. Now that I think about it, I genuinely could have been extremely... I was thinking about astronomy, and I got a U on the written exam, but a C on the coursework. That's how I got the E. Fuck. The thing, I didn't even bunk. I didn't bunk. I fucking tried my best. With the little studying that I did do, with the extremely little studying that I did do, that's what I got on the written exam. With the extremely little studying that I did do, I gave myself too little time. Maybe that's something right there. Give myself more time to do what I set myself to do. And I can do that through giving myself less to do each day. Yeah. I think that's it really. There isn't much more that needs to be said. To set 3 things to do a day, give myself a lot of time to be able to do everything that I set myself, and actually say, you know what, I'm on the way to doing this, and my actions are reaffirming my beliefs. For example, X, Y, and Z. I could say, for example, let's say it's tomorrow. Today, I did those 3 things I set myself to do instead of leaving a whole load of shit undone. I did everything that I set myself to do on the whiteboard. And I did extra. So that's how I know that I'm taking this seriously and that I'm actually really wanting to improve my productivity levels. For those that are out there, please don't go and say, if I throw this in the trash. Unironically, go and say, if I get this in the rubbish, if I throw this rubbish in the bin, I'm getting straight A's on this test. Please don't unironically say that. I was doing that. The shit didn't work. Yeah, you've got to believe in yourself. That's number 1. Even regardless of how cliche it is, your mum. Yeah, regardless of how cliche it is, that's what you got to do first of all. And it's not bullshit. the way how you believe in yourself is that your actions reaffirm those beliefs. You've got to be, if it's school, for example, yeah, because we were talking about me and my school grades. If it's school, what you've got to do is you've got to find your own systems that work so that you actually get the grades that you're looking for. If you really want to, and you allow yourself to actually think these things, you can get straight A double stars. You absolutely can. And you don't even have to be, you may be in a place where you've got that employer instead of self-employed instead of employee mindset, where you're just following what your parents told you to do and what your parents have, the life that your parents have set out for you. I am against that way of life, because that means you're not doing what you truthfully want to do. You're just allowing your parents to live your life for you through saying, oh yeah, you can do this, you can do that. And without question, you just go and do it. No, I am against that. I'm against that way of living. I've lived that life. It was shit. I did not enjoy it. My health, my physical health was shit. My mental health was shit. My physical health, the way how I had a big belly, it was shit. My mental health was, I hated them, I hated my family, I hated myself, I hated some of the people that I was around. But that was what I was getting whilst following through their way of life, of going to school, doing GCSEs, A-levels, uni. No, that led to a place of hatred. So if you're doing it just because your parents have told you to, please think twice, question what they're saying, ask why. In all areas of life, ask why. Why is it that they want you to go through that way of life? Have they ever thought of another way of life that may actually be more fruitful, more meaningful to you? Not to them, but to you. What is it that you think? What is it that you think? Where do you get fulfillment from? Your life is about you. How can you just go? It's not selfless. You just living the life that your parents have set out for you is mindless, not selfless. Yeah, they may feel happy, but what about you? Your mental health will be fucking shit. Your physical health may be fucking shit. You're not doing what you truthfully want to do, maybe. By following through their way of life. No, by following through the way of life that they've set out for you without questioning it. You may be doing something, you may be living a life that you don't want to live truthfully. Oh, sorry, a way of life. You will be living a way of life that you don't want to live truthfully. Just because your parents have told you that that's the way of life that they want for you. Oh, do this, do that, do this, do that. Instead of you making the decision yourself, thinking, you know what? This is for me. I get fulfillment from this. I love what I do. So, and I'm not going to stop doing this for anyone. This is for me. This is my equivalent of that, really. And all of the other things I'm doing. I understand my parents. They don't, even though they may seem like it and they may think it themselves, they don't care about me getting qualifications. It's just the money, because money is an indication of stability, and they want to know that their son is going to be able to stay on his 2 feet before they pass away. Is there anything else to say? Anything else to say, really? Oh, sorry for that. Is there anything else to say, really? Nope, don't think so. I accidentally pressed the volume button, hence it cut off like that. But nope, I don't think so. Other than to say, if you're making videos like these, all the power to you. I would clap. There you go. Even if you make videos like these, yeah, like the serious videos, even if you take a couple of things, that's a start. I'm gonna take the fact that I thought about school grades in a delusional way. That's what I'm going to take. And I can now move and grow from that, even though I might not watch this video back again. It's a start, and I'd advise you guys to do the same. Maybe not to remember maybe not to expect yourself to remember every fucking thing that you've said over the space of like a 3-hour video, or even less than that, like a 45-minute video. But even if you take 2 things, or even 1 fucking thing that from these serious videos, then that's amazing. I'd advise all of you guys to make the sorts of playlists that I've been making, because I know from personal experience that this shit has worked for me. However, if you don't want to, that's more than fine. And if you want to find your own style, that's more than fine. However, if you're not really sure about what your style is, then you can start here. And I can certainly say that these serious videos and all of the other playlists that I've made, they've allowed me to get to the point where I'm at today. So I absolutely would advocate for them. But if you don't want to follow the style, you don't have to. It's up to you. It's up to you at the end of the day. It's your life. How you want to go about it is up to you. But yeah, I'm done. Make the art of transforming your life a daily habit, and trust me, you will transform and you will start to know yourself better than you ever have done. That's what's going on for me right now. With all of that delusion. I was a kid. I've never thought of it like this before. But during the school times, I was a kid, a child, filled with delusion, especially during GCSE times. I think this could have really even dated all the way back. Me seeing high grades could have dated all the way back to fucking primary school, when I was in like set 2 and set 1, and really working towards, in maths, in middle school, really working towards wanting to get to set 1. Got to set 2 from set 3, and I did fairly well on my SATs. I think that's why I got into set 2 anyway in year 7. Yeah, I did very well on my SATs, hence I got set 2 very well. I got fairly high marks. I don't even remember, that was a long time ago. Year 6 is like 10 to 11. No, that was like 10 years ago. There's no way I'm gonna just try and remember that now. I don't remember the grades I got in my SAT tests. In my SATs, sorry. But yeah, me just seeing high grades could have started all the way back to I have a clear snapshot in my mind when I was sitting opposite a girl in year 4. I have a year 4, year 3, as we were doing maths together. She wasn't like the entitled sort of chick, like the 9-year-old equivalent of the entitled chick. No, not like that at all. It's more like the calm one, the calm chick that seems like she has something, that just seems like she has something to her. It's like I've seen this sort of personality before in numerous girls, but I know when I see it. I know when I see it, and I know what I'm talking about. Well, not very vividly, so vividly to the point where I can clearly explain it to you guys. I don't know, but it's just like those sorts of girls. They just, it seems like they have something to them. They have substance to them. I'm talking from an interactional standpoint. I'm not talking about just slipping my dick in. These are the sorts of girls, yeah, that I'd not even once think about slipping my dick in, because the amount of substance that they have, or they at least give off, the aura they give off, and how they speak, how they carry themselves, I never think about slipping my dick in, ever. I don't actually, to be honest, I don't really think about it with girls that I know personally, but I do sometimes have sexual thoughts, and that's more than fine. That's fine with me. But yeah, these sorts of girls, I'd never think of even looking down at their ass, not even once. These are the sorts of chicks that's even with the aura they give off and how they speak. It's like they have something to them. Maybe edgy. Maybe edgy is the word I'm looking for. I don't know, but that's another topic for another day. Make the art of transforming your life a daily habit, and your life will transform. But you gotta do it every day though. Have to have an outlet, like YouTube, for example. Use YouTube. It fucking works. Or if you don't want to, you can use another platform, or you can use many other platforms other than this. You can use music if you want. I mean, it's up to you, but I know I'm advocating YouTube because I've used YouTube to create content. I'm doing it right now, and I know it's worked. So this is what I can advocate and say from personal experience. This is solid. So yeah, and I know from personal experience that because I've been using YouTube as an outlet to be able to work through fears and work through aims that I've set to achieve myself through the Plank Journey logs, the serious videos, the serious talks, mate, I have been changing as a person. After making serious videos, yeah. Solving the unwanted habit of mindless consumption for good. Even though I had the thought of going onto the channel just to mindlessly scroll through the feed. Or no, actually just going to the YouTube channel, and then I probably would have just scrolled through the feed. Although I did have that thought impulsively, I didn't follow it, and I had no problem. I found it very easy to not follow it because I already worked through the most challenging part, which was yesterday, as I was thinking those thoughts live. These thoughts are now starting to build further, more and more. I'm starting to build that strength in my mind to not impulsively go on YouTube to scroll through feeds, the home feed, the channel's feed, the feed of this channel, YouTube analytics, the YouTube analytics of this channel on YouTube Creator Studio. Yeah, I apologise. My coccyx was hurting a bit because I've been on the mat for so long. It's the feeling of the lace in the trachea bottoms against my coccyx. That's what's hurting me. So I've pulled my trousers down a bit so I don't feel that pain. But okay, yeah, I'm done. That's another one down the hatch. Another serious video down the hatch. I didn't actually put on the card originally, but this is something that has needed to be addressed for years. And now I think I'm going to be able to move forward in life much more efficiently after making this video, because I now understand that those standards I made for myself were fucking delusional. Delusional, and how I went about things was delusional. If I throw this in the rubbish, I'll get straight 9s. No. I was unironically thinking those sorts of thoughts. No, that's not how it works. But at least I understand that now. And however, you know what? If they did, I'd probably be hating life. Long term, I'd be hating life due to going through a way of life that my parents had set out for me instead of what I wanted to do. Reminds me of KSI saying, just wanting to go through YouTube, and his mum and his parents giving him slack saying, oh no, you can't do this, you can't do that, basically. But he was doing it for him, and now look at where he's at. Now look. Don't know what's going on behind the scenes though. He may be having hard times, he may not be. You don't know, but it seems like he loves what he does. And he wouldn't have been able to get to where he is today if he stopped doing what he truthfully enjoyed, just because his parents had a different life set out for him, because they didn't know any better. But yeah, I'm gone. May that transform your life a daily habit, and you'll allow yourself to transform your own life over the days, bit by bit, piece by piece. That's what I'm doing. So yeah, I believe in myself, and I know that my actions reaffirm my beliefs by talking about these, making these serious videos, and actually working towards transforming my life off camera. It's not just all talk. But yeah, I'm gone.